Hello and welcome to Curriculum Night 2022. My name is Tyler Erb and I am teaching your student AP Calc AB. So a little bit about myself. I'm from Medina, Ohio originally. I taught at Community House for 9 years and this is my first year at Audrey Kell. I went to college at Bowling Green State University where I studied AYA mathematics education, which essentially is teaching high school. I am the club advisor for AKML, which is the Audrey Kell Math League. I was the 2019 PAINST awardee, a DoD STEM ambassador for 2021, and an Edith May Slife awardee in 2021. I am a dad to a 2-year-old girl named Zoe, and I have another one coming in January, so very excited for that. Let's talk about the class. So the class is going to, it meets daily. There's going to be homework every night. That homework is mostly going to be on AP Classroom, but sometimes it's also on Delta Math. We'll talk a little bit about that later. There are 3 to 4 tests per quarter, which are the perform grades, which count as 50% of your student's grade. 3 to 5 quizzes, which are rehearsed per quarter, which is counts as 30%. And then we also have these weekly check-ins. So I do a weekly graded check-in to really let your students kind of see where they're at in the course. This helps students know a little bit better than just the AP Classroom because it's kind of like, skin in the game at that point. AP Classroom and all other homework assignments are going to be graded for completion. So as long as your student's doing them, they'll get 100%. The AP test, which is the big one that we care about, is May 8th. So May 8th is when we have our AB Calc test. Classroom expectations. Turn in weekly homeworks worth 100 points. All homework is due the beginning of the next week. So if I sign it Monday through Friday, all of that's due the beginning of the next week. This is so that way students who have either jobs, clubs, sports, whatever it may be. I know schedules can get a little bit hectic, and especially with my first time teaching this course, it also helps with making sure the pacing works out just right. So we have everything due essentially the following week so students can ask questions as they learn. They need to begin a warm-up and take all the notes and copy examples. All notes are also up on my website, so they can look at those as well anytime they're absent. Turn in any late work and corrections without being prompted. I'm not going to prompt your student. They're in high school. This is an AP course. If they have missing work, it's on them to turn it in. Late work is deducted 5 points per day late. And of course, the biggest thing in any AP class is ask every single question you ever have. If your child is not someone who really likes to ask questions in person, they can always send me emails or we'll ask questions during quizzes or anything like that. Whatever we can do to get your student to be asking whatever they're not understanding. So 10-point scale with grades. We have performs, which are 50% of the grade. Those are pretty much strictly tests. Rehearses are quizzes, which are 30%. And then prepare could be classwork, warm-ups, group activities. These are mostly completion grades, except for the graded in-class quiz, like I talked about, that checkpoint at the end of a week. This lets kind of students know, like, okay, you were doing the homework, but how well were you fully understanding the concept? And that kind of gives an indicator to you as parents as well. Homework is going to be on AP Classroom and Delta Math for, I'll say, like 90% of all of the homework. All students have access to AP Classroom. This is material that College Board has created, and a lot of these questions are strictly from past tests. So these are past questions that students have been asked or mimic them very closely. AP Classroom also has videos for each lesson. So if a student is either missing a day or struggling with a concept, they can watch a video from an AP teacher that is on AP Classroom. The other nice thing about AP Classroom is that it is graded at the end and students can see what issues they may have and kind of correct their notation as they go. All of this is based on the AP test that College Board creates, which again, that test is May 8th. Any test questions we have throughout the unit are also going to come from AP Classroom or are going to be AP Classroom adjacent. So I'm going to try to mimic any test that I give or any type of assignment based on the AP tests because that's the best way to prepare them. Delta Math is also great for practicing skills. The one downside with AP Classroom is most of it is going to be multiple choice, whereas Delta Math has a lot of fill in the blank. So that's why Delta Math is used to supplement as well. Late work is going to be placed in as a 0 in the grade book, even if you're absent. I'll usually put in an absent mark as well, just so that we know. You have essentially those, I think it's 3 to 5 school days to get in any missing work. When work is completed, the students have to show the work is done. A new grade, maximum of 95, will replace the 0, 5 points off for each day missing. So again, this is talking specifically about late work. So if your student does it one day late, they'll get a 95, then down to a 90, then an 85, and so on and so forth. If your student's absent, they can still turn it in as soon as they get back for full credit. Work is going to snowball pretty quickly, so your students really need to stay on top of things. Otherwise, you're going to get lost in class and then also be behind on homework and have a lot of stress. Homework is going to be a consolidation of that day's skills and also overall that week's skills. Test corrections. If the score is between a 70 or 79, the corrections are going to count as a retest up to an 80%. If they score below a 70, then they're going to have to do corrections and take a retest. They have a 2-week period from getting back their test to doing a retest. So that means sometime within that range, they have to be coming to me, asking questions, and then figuring out when they can do a retest. We're really going to try to avoid doing retests during the school day, because then they're just missing another lesson, which would then get them more behind. So we're going to try to work out a day either before or after school where they can start doing the retest and be good to go for that. In absence, check the wiki or my website for any missing assignments. The other thing you can always do is either phone a friend or email me. I've had students absent already. We all have, bugs going around, COVID, whatever it may be. Very understandable. Please just either reach out and have your student ask me or ask a friend in the class as well. So as parents, how can you help your student be as successful as possible? Make sure if you see your student struggling that they're showing you their classwork and homework. They should have really detailed notes with the correct annotation. A lot of times a student may conceptually feel like they're okay, but the annotation is what's really going to end up getting them. Please use PowerSchool to check grades and assignments. Again, PowerSchool is great for checking that weekly homework or those weekly check-ins to see how your student's doing before a big test. Please email me with any concerns. I'm used to constant parent communication, so if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. And you can send your child to tutoring with your child's crazy schedules. I've made 2 times, either Thursday before school at 6:15 or after school until 3 o'clock. Those are our 2 available times for tutoring on a weekly basis. With that in mind, if you have any need to contact me, you can find my email right here, tyler1.herb@cms.k12.nc.us. And then I primarily use this website. The reason I like to use this website instead of a Canvas page is I think it's easier for your students to access anywhere without having to sign in, and also easier for you to be able to access it anywhere. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and I would love to answer those for you. Wish list wise, if there's anything you could bring in, it's just tissues. We're starting to already see an uptick in colds, and really tissues can really help make it easier for everyone involved. Thank you so much. And again, as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.